It's Monday, and we're down a man. We're a man short.
Man down.
We are man down. He's blown away.
He's blown away.
He was last seen heading across the coast of France.
the more. Sorry, go on, Martin.
I was going to say the reason he isn't here is because of the storms, because he's out just fixing everyone's internet.
He
is, to be fair.
So while we may be taking the piss, he's out performing a vital service. So what we're talking about, the more observant of you might notice, we're one down. Ken isn't with us, which is why we're on my channel this week. It was meant to be Ken, but he's preoccupied fixing things across the south of England because
Ken will fix it.
Ken will fix it.
It is. Also, things aren't going great with his house move, and I think he's finding like I don't know why I'm laughing. It's not funny.
It's not funny
but it's not funny at all.
Can we?
No, but we can't. But no, so I don't think he's having fun at the moment. So I know, he's out fixing internet.
So it's an impromptu one on my channel, unprepared. So what we're talking about tonight, we'll get to it later. We're going to talk about downtime. What do you do when you can't paint or game? Should be pretty interesting. But as always, who are we?
Do we want to put some caveats around that one, Steve?
Yeah, you have to be within the boundaries of the law.
Okay, fair enough. That's good.
That's about it, really. And as long as it doesn't involve listening to crap music, because bit of housekeeping. So who have we got? So there's three of us. So myself, Steve from On Point HQ. Up there we got Martin, Seventh Son.
Hello.
And up there in his, let's face it, quite salubrious surroundings, we've got Mr. Project himself, Dom from Boots on the Table. How are we, chaps? We all got through the Dom. You had an interesting weekend, didn't you?
It was colourful. It was colourful. Yeah. I think something was out to get me this weekend. It was like literally. Well, in fact, I'll show you a picture of. I can find the damn thing. So one on the first night of the storm, or first day of the storm, that happened. So that is the back of my cabin. It's the back corner behind me there. So that was about lunchtime on the first day of the storms. And then literally blow me last night, just through there, on the other side there's a big road there. On the other side there, an even bigger tree came down and came across the road and nearly took it out the other direction. It's like, so I don't even know whether I'll make it through this this stream, because if a tree comes through...
I just got these images of him just standing in the middle of the storm, just standing with a glass of whiskey at his bedroom window, just staring out the window, just looking on, just waiting.
There was a little tear dripping down my. And we had no power for 2 days, which kind of was also a bit of a biatch. But there you go.
So we largely escaped it. I mean, the wind and the rain was a bit mad, and there were some suspicious bangs outside in the car park.
Isn't that just normal around your way?
That's just normal up here. I'd be concerned if there wasn't strange noises coming from the car park, but that's just me. As always, a big, massive thank you to everybody that's watching on the catch up. We really do appreciate it. So before we get into tonight's festivities, let's see who we've got in the chat. So we've got Simon. Hello, Simon. Good to see you here, mate. We've got Pat. We've got Mark Forsyth. Andrew JF, East Norfolk, Chris Richards, David Baker, Gary Phillips, Carl Burks, Enemy in Sight, Paul Crouch, Steve Harbour. Bit of a message, mate. With Krakon coming up, can you get in contact with us about what games you want to participate in?
Yeah, you've got my number, mate. So just bung me a message. Let me know what you want to do, or if there is something you want to host. And in fact, anybody, if you're not on Facebook, or if you're on Facebook, you haven't looked yet, the games list is up. We'll roll through it a little bit later on, what people are hosting. Yeah. I'm sure people in the chat here, but get over to Facebook. If you're not on Facebook, then just let us know what you're looking for, and we'll try and match you up with some games. If you're just turning up and you just want to wander around, that's fine, but if you don't want to miss out, there's some big games going on, and there's still some gaps on some tables.
Yeah, we've still got spaces, haven't we? So, but yeah, we'll have a chin wag about that later on. So yeah, Steve, you can get in contact, mate. That'd be a really big help. We've got Evil Jim. Evil Jim is here. We've got Jonas
Hello,
all the way
Jonas.
from cold and northern Sweden. I think Jonas, didn't he say he's been manually clearing snow from his property?
Yeah, he said something like that. Yeah,
That sounds decidedly unpleasant and not something.
it's not nice. That's
No,
not nice.
My back wouldn't cope with that. I'm not cut out for manual labour. Rich John, Ham and Jam, Lionheart, Bicker City, Lazy Pirate Painting, Louis Baby, Harpham, Crossing Obstacles Gaming, Battlemat, Studio Guru, Shrink 7, Friends of General Haig, Ricky Turner, Patrick Train. Oh, first time joining live from Toronto.
Whee!
Cheers, Patrick. I didn't know Patrick was in Toronto. We've got to get this map. We've got to get this map made.
I'll do it. Yeah,
we've really got to.
I actually I did look at a thing the other day, and I was like, oh, that'd be useful. And then I didn't write down the website or bookmark it, and now I can't find it again.
Now, has Patrick joined because of Ken's fiddle yard fetish? Looking at it,
I didn't even notice that, Don. Well done.
Yeah, I just wondered whether it was an honour, whether that's it's an homage to the man down.
Possibly. We've got Claymores, Kevin Mitchell, Luke Farrell, Blood Salt. What's up, PCP homies? That's very down with the streets, isn't it?
What does that mean?
We got Dan Justin from LA. We've got Alex from Storm of Steel. How you doing, Alex? More tiny planes last week I saw.
Oh, they are so nice, those tiny planes.
Good. I know.
And what really pisses me off is I flogged all my Wings of War stuff, and now I'm looking at his stuff and going, why?
Didn't you get like a nice tidy sum for your Wings?
I did. I got a lot of money for them, to be fair.
Yeah, so, I thought they were. Because they're quite difficult to get hold of these days, aren't they?
I think funny enough, I think the second series seemed to be more popular than the first series, which I would thought would be the other way around, but maybe they just didn't make as many. But yeah, they did sell for 30 quid for one model. I think is quite a price.
Were you channeling your inner Ken?
Well, I was actually. It was like I'll just bung them up on that website, that auction site that everyone uses, and blow me, they went for that kind of money, and I went, well, hey! So I obviously reinvested it in more metal.
Well, that's always the best way, isn't it? Who else have we got here? Yes, we've got Michael Hiscock, we've got Old School FRP, we've got Drew from Tenement Table. Welcome, Drew. Gary Bramley, Andy P, Red Steph. Hi, Steph. How you doing, mate? Marky Sparky. Allard Roberts, Shakos and Sprues. All right, James, how you doing? Yorkshire Dragoon. Hello, Tim. John Carter. Massive congratulations to John, by the way.
Yes, congratulations.
On the new arrival to his family.
Oh, yes.
Welcome to the No Sleep Club.
So, congratulations, John. The first PCP baby, as far as I'm aware. So, yes, another milestone for us.
Does Ken do baptisms?
I don't know.
Would you let Ken near a baby?
I don't know. What's he going to use? Like contrast paint or something like that?
Blue Wicked.
Ultramarine blue.
We got another. So one from Mark here. Finally managed to watch live from San Antonio. President's Day here. If World War III breaks out while I'm watching, I'll be very annoyed. Yes, that'll probably put a dent in our numbers, but we'll persevere. Thanks, Mark, for watching live. Who else we got? Imaginary Conflicts. Lionheart, Benjamin Christensen. Hello, Benjamin. Leslie's here.
Hey.
Battle Knights. Hello, Jason. Steve Keelan. Hello, Steve. John Masters. Carla's here as well.
Hey.
Bad Beagle. Awesome name. I love that name, Bad Beagle. It's just so good. Duncan FX. Den Preston. Kevin Sturdy. Grana Prego. Hello, Anthony. Yorkshire Gamer. Ken's here.
Yorkshire Gamer.
I'm putting up one of Ken's pictures later because when I saw them, it's Windy Boat Game related, but I was blown away by them.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm here all night, folks. Please tip your waiter. Well hung done. Wilco Mewit, welcome. Odin Ray, good afternoon from Florida. Blimey.
My goodness me, they're flying in from all over the place.
Graham's Wargame Vault. Hello, Graham.
Hello, Graham.
Hey, Graham.
Stoic Steve, Tech Saint, Little Legions, Andy Rue. Right, I think we've got through them all. God, that was a bit of a list, wasn't it?
I'm amazed. We've got a lot of our US viewers tonight, which is fantastic.
Yes. And I didn't call me ignorant, but I didn't know it was President's Day. So,
well, I did because I work for an American company, and it was very, very
go.
quiet today, which was lovely.
I did miss my vocation, mate. I've missed many vocations: Batman, astronaut, you name it. I've missed it. So yeah, thanks everyone for showing up. I know here in the UK it's been a bit of a wild weekend for all involved. It was quite rare, if I'm being completely honest. But what I've been up to, let's start with Dom. Let's get you out of the way. And I know you're traumatized from your windy weekend, almost losing your man shed. So what have you been up to? Any battalion starter boxes?
Well, consequently, things were a little bit limited because having no electricity for two days and having to sort of pray to the god of Ken to make sure my shed didn't blow away. It was fairly limited what I got done. Plus, my father-in-law wasn't very well either, which hasn't helped at all. But I did manage to do a bit. So I finished off some more 20mm Germans.
What manufacturer are they, Dom?
They are the Plastic Soldier Company.
Ah,
all right.
So I bought a box of them, and I think I've got about 15 more to do. You get a lot of them for your money. They're good. Yeah.
With a Plastic Soldier Company, you did. I mean, I would have done it if mine had been delivered, but they weren't. That's a rant for a different
sore point, is it?
Yes.
Okay.
But no, they look really, really nice. I've never painted. I've never painted 20mm ever.
To be honest, I'm not sure I had either. I've done 15s and 28s, so 20. I've done 20mm tanks before, but never infantry, and they're dead cinch. I mean,
is that because 28mm is dead?
I thought I'd better do it because it's dead. Yeah,
it's dead. It's dead. You heard it here first the other week, but it's completely dead.
I showed the buildings I did for this before, but I finished off the basing of them. So I got some card and got some board to put it on, and that's that. It's Plakino Farm, 15mm that is, because 28mm dead. So I finished that off, which I'm not pleased with. The cobbles are Doll's House wallpaper, which is kind of really cool.
Yes, I made a mental note last week to go and look for some and probably forgot.
So, no, I need to picture. I know that Big Rich from Two Fat Lardies was doing some Far East scenery, and he was using wallpaper as well for the courtyard.
Yeah.
Well,
if you the right size squares on them, I think that's
my mate who I played the Wars of Roses against, or some of the Wars of Roses against. He's got big World War II stuff, and he actually started wallpapering the insides of the buildings and putting like little mirrors on the walls and like having trash stuff on the. I mean, it looks amazing, but yeah, it's like a step too far. I think it got to a point when at work he was using CAD to scale down. German, not like propaganda posters, but just like baker, this money off a loaf of bread or something like that. And he was
is it Justin who did those with those amazing?
I know it was James from JVC Painting.
James, it was James, yeah. And even scaled down, like you say, scaled down pictures of the Führer and things like that he had on the wall inside the buildings, and maps and things. It's just like,
he really did. That's one thing I like about James' videos. When he gets involved in the project, he gets involved. Yeah, he gets involved in the project. Yeah,
jeez, yeah. Amazing. So yeah, and then apart from that, I did actually finally get down to start my Landschneck project. So So these aren't the best pictures in the world because I've only done the first 12. But there you go. Bit of colour, mate.
Crikey.
Bit of colour.
They are bright.
Yeah, I went for it. So there you go. Pinks and yellows and blues. And that's the first 12 of what's going to be. I think I worked out I've got about five pipe blocks, I think, in total.
I've my Landsknecks have stalled again. I've completed half of what I want to do.
Yeah,
but then turnip took over, and the thought of browns, greens, browns, reds, and browns, or just every multicolour you can think of. I'm going with browns every day because they're easy to paint. And I'm just decidedly lazy like that.
Well, I'm going for all the colours. So this is my next 6 underway. I've actually realised I didn't have enough really bright colours, so I'm just sort of hunting through the collection trying to find more. There's a lovely purple there, so that'll come in handy. So yeah, that's what I've been doing. But that's it, really. So
that's all.
That's all. Yeah.
That's all. I'm afraid I can't give you a whole army because the world came to an end for a couple of days.
Have you been any more productive than Dom, Martin?
I spent all week doing our entry for the Adepticon historical charity auction, and regretting our color choices for our logo. So no, I did those. So yeah, we, as I'm sure everyone knows, Don over in the States asked us if we'd up for sort of doing something that could go in the charity auction Adepticon to raise money for the American Battlefield Trust, and we're doing the starter 4-point warband for the Crusades. Dom had already done the base coats, and then he sent them on to me. I spent more time getting them out of the bubble wrap than I did actually painting the things. So enjoy that, Steve, because I decided to put more in there. I got a bigger box and more bubble wrap because I was in fear. I hope you've of like just getting around. So you might need a very sharp knife to get some of this stuff out. That should be with you actually tomorrow or the day after, hopefully. So. So I've got a few pictures because stupidly I was so sort of rushed and so excited to get them in the box. I didn't take any photos of them finished, but they're not finished. They're not finished because they're not based.
They're not.
This based. Is what it was upsetting me. So it was upsetting me because I always think that my stuff in particular looks crap until I put it on a base, and I just can't get past that because then everything comes together. So putting them in bags and sending them off to you was actually quite painful. But just to give you guys an idea, so there's the sort of like the bowman that we've gone. So it's just a case of it was making the blues nice and bright and basically putting some edge highlighting on the blacks and putting a little livery cross on them because they are supposed to be nice crusaders. I like that. Yeah, and then the leader, the warlord, as Ken couldn't take part, decided. Although Steve has pointed out, he is kind of a bit of a Brian Blessed, isn't he, from Blackadder?
Yeah, right.
That is. Although the only thing about that model, there is no way a horse of that size carries a man of that stature. That horse would die. I'm sorry, but I feel very sorry for that horse. But yeah, so they're all done and they're winging their way to Stee. If you have a look on the group or if you have a look on my channel, you can see the video where they're on. But that was basically it because there was 24 or 25 of them. So apart from this thing that I'm working on, which is a Blotz desert building for the Crusades that I'm working on after my little color matching escapades at home base. So look, I've got these color match tins to match the AK Interactive paint, which I'll still be using that for the basing. It's just that when it came for doing scenery and things like that, I thought I'm not buying loads of tubs of this basing paste. Let's do that. So
did you have to do that whole explaining to them why you needed that color, or do you just?
No, I took my daughter. No, I took my daughter, and my daughter asked, and then they don't ask. If the 5-year-old says, "Can we have this match to this?" They just don't ask. They just go, and then they hand it over. So yeah, that's my cunning plan. So I take her everywhere now when I do stuff like that.
That's a really clever idea. Because I don't think I almost feel a bit nervous about sort of. So can you match this? And they go, "What the hell?" It's like you're not going to put that in your living room, are you? It's like, oh yeah, everyone uses khaki grey on their. Look, here's my little colour swatch thing I did. See, look, but with the textured paint. So that's the actual basing stuff, and I took that along with me. But I made my daughter give it to the man and say, "Can we have 2 pots of tester paint that match this, please?"
and he was fine because he looked really grumpy. I mean, to be fair, like
It's not the best job in the world, is it? Sitting there and waiting for somebody to come
but if a 5-year-old asks it, it's okay. I've done it when I've had MDF cut as well, because I know they hate doing it when you go to like B&Q or something like that. Or they get a bit. If you've got your kid with you and you pretend it's for like, I don't know, like you're building them like actually furniture or something like that, or something like it's like a doll's house or something like that, then they if the kid's there, they don't mind, because they can't really say no without looking like a really horrible person.
You know what's really weird? The opposite happens if you're trying to, as an adult, if you're trying to buy Lego, the opposite happens. I went to Argos one time to buy because I collect Star Wars Lego kits. I bought Poe's X-Wing.
Oh, right,
the guy behind the counter was making small talk, and he said, handed it over to him, the little ticket thing. And he went, so, and it was a Saturday. He said, any plans for this afternoon? And I went, yeah, this is my Saturday. And he was like, oh, it's not a present. I said, no, it's for me. Some strange looks.
No, you do, but no. Apart from that, not very much. So I've got quite a backlog of videos to edit, so I've been editing and putting up various videos or getting things to certain states. So I think I looked at it and I think I've got about 8 videos queued. So I thought I might, before I start doing anything else, I should probably try and put some of them out.
No,
so.
I've got two in the pipeline. Turnip 28 one, which I'm sure Dom will be
I can't wait. When's that coming out?
Beside himself. I don't know. Do you know the really strange thing is? I'm really hesitant to make videos at the moment because I've been doing some DIY around the flat over the past couple of days, and my hands looks like I've been attacked by Freddy Krueger. I'm absolutely just shredded, and no one wants to see my wounded hands on camera. But no, I'm the same. I had a less than productive week. First one is the one I meant to show last week because I'm rather pretty proud of these. These are my US infantry that I'm currently working on.
They are awesome.
And they take a while to paint. They really do. So I'm 8 down and I've got 8 to go. But that is a lovely kit. The US infantry kit from Warlord, lovely.
Mm-hmm.
But just to do a quick catch up on those.
They do look good, mate. They really do.
But what I have been doing is a bit of work in progress. Now, last week I picked up the new starter box, Flames of War, the Tobruk one, which we talked about. We've mentioned it a couple of times, haven't we?
Yep.
I am so impressed by these models. They're lovely. So I've been painting the Allied tanks, and these are work in progress. I just wanted to show you what I've been up to. So there, we've got a Grant, a Sherman, and a Crusader.
They are very nice.
And they're plastic, and they are just so cool. They're just really nice. Really, really lovely models. And they go together so well. The instructions are clear. The crisp sculpt and molds, everything just got. And do you know what? There's hardly any pieces to them as well.
Beautiful.
And they're really good.
I had their plastic Panzer IVs, and they were really nice. I remember putting those together. They were just really, really simple. Have you had a chance? I know you had a quick look through the rule book. Have you had another look at it? What do you think of it? Because I know you played Flames of War before. So what do you think of? What do you think of it?
When it arrived on Tuesday, I sort of read the quick guide. And on the Wednesday, I went through the rules a bit more. Then I watched a couple of cheers. Thank you, Bad Beagle. I watched a couple of Flames of War videos. So I watched the Battlefront one over the weekend, and I watched the one that Travis put out a couple of weeks back.
Yeah,
and I said in the group chat thing, it's amazing how it's been refined over the years since I last played. I've not played games of Flames of War since about 2006. But the way the rules have been refined and those unit cards, and it just seems to be a really concise game.
Yeah. Now they seem to have got rid of a lot of different. Well, I think I started playing it about the time you stopped. So I think a lot of even in that edition, there was a lot of like pernickety things, and my reading of the rule book from that is that it's just got rid of a lot of the unnecessary granular sort of crunchiness.
It's still a mass wipeout game, though, isn't it? I mean, you open up and you wipe out half a regiment in one go. The old, like Blackadder in the First World War thing. It's the broom and just goes. There's a squadron down.
No, but I remember when I first started playing it. Like I mentioned it, Flames of War in 2004 was my sort of rebirth into wargaming. We played it quite a lot. I just remember it being quite clunky. And there was lots of referring to the books, and it was still a good game. But looking at that, I mean, you fast forward on. I think is it 4th edition they're on now? Is it the 4th edition?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
It's amazing that just reading through and going through the individual phases, and then watched a couple of battle reports. Just really, really good. The one thing I did pick up on was there's nothing in the way of, so in Ball Saxon you've got pins, Chain of Command you've got shock. With Flames of War there's nothing that your troops will always do what you want them to do. There's nothing affecting their ability.
I thought they did get pinned. I thought they did get pinned if they took a certain number of
if you take a number of casualties and you're down to so many bases. But I've got no complaints about it. I can't wait. I'm really flying through this because I really want to get the starter painted up because I really want to paint those Italian 88s. They look so good.
That's the set I'm going to be doing as well. So it is very cool. I succumb to that.
I mean, for the price as well, I've never known a starter straight out the box where you can go from box to table for 40 quid. Just absolutely unbelievable value. I'm looking forward to it. So that was quite a slim pickings week for me because I didn't start painting those till the weekend. I think we've all had less than productive weeks. It's a bit of a strange one for us.
We've been slacking this week, haven't we? All of us. God damn.
Well, no, it's normally we look like we've done stuff, but because Ken isn't here, we to take the heat off us.
That's true. That's true.
And there'll be a definite like mine about a 56% less chat about epic Napoleonics as well.
Oh, I've seen in the chat. So Steve's apparently in Drew's game. Drew, I have got that list, but if you can send it to me again, I think it's because half the people who want to take part in that Napoleonic game are either in other games or in the Wars of the Roses game. So I need to know which game they're doing because I've got reserve lists on the Wars of the Roses. So I need to know sort of which one they're doing. Because I know I've got a table on one side for that black powder thing, but if you need more than one and you need two together, you can sort that out. So just send me a message.
How many tables do we have left?
We have. Shall I go through? Shall I go before we start? Shall I go through the list? Shall I do that, and then people can think. So
let's get out of the way.
So for Krakon 2022. I don't know why that was on. So far, on tables 1 and 2, we got the Wars of the Roses, the Battle of Barnet participation game, which is just booked out. So that's gone. We've got that's 4v4. That's going to be run by myself, and I believe my glamorous assistant Kenneth Eldridge is going to be helping me. So if you're on the Yorkist side, you're probably going to have a bit of an uphill struggle if you're at his end of the table. So that's tables 1 and 2. Table 3, we've got Turnip 28, hosted by Dominic Cook. On table,
yeah, that's true.
On table 4. We've got Blood and Plunder, which James is looking after now. I think he's got Blood and Plunder and Blood and Valor, and I'm just going to be avoiding the that whole table basically because tables 5 and 6 we have Ken is hosting the Battle of Fornova participation game, Italian Wars 3v3. I believe that he's using the Furioso rules. So it's tables 5 and 6, and it's So that'll be a 12 foot by 4 foot, but I understand he's bringing his 12 foot by 6 foot board to put on top of the 12 foot by 4 foot board. So that's going on. So there's still 3 spaces left in that. So there's 3 by 3 people have signed up for it. There's still 3 spaces on there. There's still 3 spaces.
I might have to supervise on one of those, I think.
Table 7 is a bolt action demo, which is going to be hosted by Lee. Table 8 is O Group, which is hosted by Alex, Storm of Steel. Japanese versus Indians, the Malayan campaign. That's for 4 players. We've got 2v2. There's 4 spaces left, but I've had a lot of people message saying they're interested in O Group, so I think people might be if they're going to come on and drop in or drop out. But if you want to make sure that you've got a space, then message me or comment on the group or whatever. Email address is down below in the description as well. Table 9 is Pike and Shot. Miller is playing Joe. Problem is they're both royalists. The problem is they haven't got any royalists because they're both filthy traitorous parliamentarians. So they're both bringing their parliament armies, but I think they're going to sort it out. Table 10 is the table that I have set on one side for this Black Powder game, but we can sort out in a minute. And table 16, because that's a 4x4, I know there's a bit of a gap there. Drew is hosting demos of Test of Honor through the day, but I know there's people just bringing along various Test of Honor forces. So we have left 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 5 6x4s left and 3 4x4s left. So it's pretty good going. With regards to Jordan game at Krakon, pretty much none.
None.
The only thing would be we've got some tables up. So if you organise a game against an opponent and you want a table for it, then just agree between yourselves about the level of understanding. We had people just doing starter games last time. If you join any of the participation games, there's no, as far as I understand, there is absolutely no prior experience or knowledge required. So you can just turn up and join in. I think we've actually got enough Wars of the Roses people now who've kind of put themselves down as reserves to actually do a whole nother game. So we could just extend that table. I think you said that, Dom, didn't you? So
I think we should do a double battle. I think
we could have one lot doing Barnet and the next lot doing Tewkesbury. No. So we've got 5 6x4s. And 3 4x4s, which, if they don't get used, they don't get used. They'll just be there for sort of open gaming and to be used. But if anyone wants to use anything, also if you are just coming along, just let us know if you're going to be floating around. Just that's helpful as well, because we'll give it another week and we'll see how many people are coming, and I'll talk to see we might be able to open up for a few more tickets for people who just want to come and game rather than do any hosting of games. I want to just get all the games locked in. That would be really cool. Steve, we're up to 131 people.
Blimey.
That's I believe that's a record.
Isn't it? A record?
Is it? And no Ken.
32. Wow.
Hang on. Do you want to see? Ken just sent. We just had a picture sent by brother Kenneth to show where he is tonight.
I dread to think.
That's where Kenneth is tonight.
Wow.
I'm not sure where he is exactly in there, but he's somewhere. It looks like your day job, Martin.
It does, apart from there's less skeletons. Wow.
I think that looks like
all I can
knackered internet, don't you? I'm no expert, but I'd say that's pretty knackered.
Yeah,
that's such a teeny little machine. Such a giddy little machine.
Oh my God. Can we now add plant machinery to the list of things we've discussed on the podcast?
That's what he's up to.
How long have you got? I can go for quite a long time on the different types of plant. But yes, so if anyone's got any ideas for games, obviously we might not see it in the chat here, so if you're on Facebook, by all means have a chat in here, but if you really want to make sure that you're going to book a table or reserve one, comment on the Facebook feed, message us directly or email us down below.
Oh, full marks for you lot. Look at this, it's coming flying in. Ken's doing a World War I reenactment. Oh Jesus,
we're so caring around here, aren't we? I mean, we're a man down. He's outperforming a vital service to the community, and we're just ripping the slash out of him.
Get some basic material for his epics. Yeah, it's all. Yeah.
Oh, dear me. Just going back to Krakon. Do you know last year we gave dice away for like food bars and things like that?
Yeah.
For turn 28, I'm doing the same, but with sprouts.
You horrible bastard. Are you gonna varnish them? Oh, that does remind me. Sorry, varnish Steve. I varnished all of the infantry before they're on their way to you, but I ran out, so none of the cavalry are varnished. So you're gonna have to varnish those.
I'll need some pointers because I've not varnished anything.
Yeah, it's mainly just to stop any chipping in transit. That's the only reason I
think I've actually would this work? It's Vallejo matte varnish.
Yeah, that'll work. Yeah, that'll be fine.
All right, cool.
Yeah, that'll be absolutely fine. But I forgot about the dice. We are in the midst of getting. There might be some dice being. Oh yeah, shall I ask the other?
Yeah.
So we're looking at various things that we can do. Dom, I'm sure we'll put up the link to the t-shirts again in the chat. But we have some t-shirts. So if you're coming to Krakon and you want to check out the t-shirts, go and check them out, which is awesome. We'll select another charity, whether it be the same one or a new one, which we can give donations to. But we were thinking. We've got some dice, so we're potentially thinking of putting together a little dice set because the dice seemed to be quite a hit last time. But then we also considered potentially doing a dice tray, and we were just wondering if people would be interested in that. If they're a dice tray, a Plastic Crack Podcast dice tray with a set of dice to go with it. If that interests people, we were just wondering. If no one's interested, then fine, we won't do it. But we're just trying to look at little things that we could maybe do in addition to any little t-shirts that might be useful on the day. To be fair, I have used my Krakon dice from last year, and they are shockingly bad for me. They are terrible dice. Like every single dice I ever roll.
I think Rich has had a different experience with his dice for his fruit bars last year.
No, I even keep my Krakon dice. Well, actually, it's because these 4 dice, 3 of them, one's for Dom, one's for you, and one's for Ken, because I've got them, but I've used them in games. And the reason they're in a separate bag is because they're shit.
You've worn them out.
I've worn out. If I give them to you and then you roll a 6 on it, I'm just gonna get up.
I think that I'm going to have to do that just to really piss you off. I think that's quality idea. Yeah, I think the other thing we can do with those is the beauty of doing the dice and the other things is we can send them out to people afterwards, can't we?
We can. Jesus! Oh God! Maybe we could get like the Bohemian Rhapsody. We get the 4 people, the 4 of us.
Oh God! Could you get them? Like those mugs you get where the pictures change as it heats up. Could you get one with us faces changed to what we look like at 2:00 in the morning in the middle of Derby?
I think you just. Oh God! Yeah. Oh God!
My face was just slightly confused.
Your face most of the weekend, I seem to remember, was just had that perpetual look of why am I here? What am I doing? What's going on? Just give me another drink.
I'm surrounded by human beings.
People. There were people.
We'll have to go back to that pub that sells Beaver Town on tap. Though that was an epic find.
That was good, wasn't it? Quality.
Are we doing a yes? Well, are we going to do a raffle again? Yes. If there's enough stuff, then we will do a raffle. Well, if there's anything that people want to raffle off, then we will do it to raise money. We will have to see if we can give Haley carpal tunnel syndrome again for all the for all the stuff, all of the folding. So
that's reliant on our good friends and people that we can manage to scrag things off. If Brother Kenneth can get out of his hole long enough to go and find us some stuff, isn't it? Really?
Yeah. Cheers for that. Yep, that's true. It's true, which is why I got so good. I can't even remember which game it was now. It's so long ago. There was that one where I started to roll well, and I just got all confused. Didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to do. But well, there seems to be some interest there. All right, so we'll have a look at them. I hope Martin never works in sales. Buy these, they're shit. Yes. I'm honest. I'm not, which is again probably why I can't.
Yeah, see, that's why you'd be rubbish in sales.
What do you reckon Ken would look like dressed as Gene Simmons?
Terrifying.
terrifying.
Just absolutely horrifying.
Oh god.
There's no words for just how traumatic and mind destroying that would be.
Wicked. All right. Well, it seems to be there's a few people in there, so I'll make some inquiries.
Sweet. And it's happening. You know what? I keep having to say to myself, it's happening again. It's going to happen. We're doing it.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It's happening a lot sooner than we thought.
I really didn't expect May. I really didn't. But yeah.
Well, they asked, and there we go. So yeah, it'll be good. It'll be a good laugh. I think as well. I know some people are about having a meet up on the night before. So if you're on the again, pop over onto the Facebook group, onto the channel. There's people discussing like meeting up, going for burgers. We'll probably be meeting up somewhere and then frantically figuring out what we're going to do the next day. So we'll probably just be really scared and worried about what we're doing. But of course, afterwards, I could dare say there will be a trip to find some beer if people want to. So
as if.
Right. I think we should get on to tonight's topic. Dom, I know you suggested this one. Was this inspired by your powerless weekend?
Well, it kind of was, yeah, because it got me thinking, and I know we've sort of hinted about it and talked about holidays and things like that, but I had 2 days of no power, so no electricity, so painting anything was it's just gone off, and it was just flipping, I was just, when you're in the middle of I've just started this landscape project. I wanted to really crack on and I couldn't, and because I couldn't see what I was doing, and even I could, it was too flipping cold to even hold a paintbrush. So all we did was drink red wine and listen to an audible. But that got me thinking, so what do you do when you just can't game, and when you can't do any kind of hobbying? And I know we kind of had a taste of it through all the lockdowns and stuff like that, and how we got around it but actually when you haven't got a game or any kind of paints with you or anything you can do, what do you do? And it made me think about, for me, for the couple of days that I was out, it was planning projects and working things through, and even pulling out old rule books and looking at army lists and things like that. Because I was much younger when I was doing wasn't doing that much gaming, but was planning an awful lot of gaming. I spent huge amounts of time poring over army lists and books about, how to build the army that I wanted to build. Not the perfect army, but just how it all fitted together. And I think, well, that would do that, and I could support it, And I had tremendous fun doing all that. And so that was the sort of thing I got up to. So, yeah, that was what it came about.
Do you think that doing something like research, researching a battle or a war, or even an individual unit, do you think that's dangerous for when you can start hobbying again?
Only if you've got the internet that allows you to go and buy stuff, because that is doubly dangerous. I've done that before now when I've been, you're away somewhere or you're reading some books about something, and then before you know it, it's in the basket and it's been bought. But of course, I had no internet either, so I couldn't do that. But yeah, it is. It can be quite.
Here's the interesting question from Andy. Do you ever feel guilty about not hobbying as much as you should be doing?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. I feel guilty like I've skipped work. I feel like I've played hooky or something like that.
I think also there's a certain amount of pressure with the channels, isn't there?
Yes.
You sort of feel you've got to do something for people to watch, which is silly, really, because it's just hobby, right?
Yeah, no, it's hobby.
Sort of
I
feel a bit of obligation, don't you, to do stuff?
It's in part of the thing was I never wanted to. In a way, because I was kind of at this point where I was like, I've got a bunch of things at 80% there, and so that was what I did last week. I just had this kind of like kick for doing a few more things to finish them off, and it wasn't so I could put those on the channel. It's like because I want to get on with the castle stuff and clear the decks so I can get on with it. So there is some of that. So yeah, that the channel has sort of helped there, I think, with that.
I just think sometimes Too late.
I think I confused Rich. Speak to the wife. Yes, true. I know it has to happen once in a while.
I just think so. I mean, and another one. What about research being dangerous is? Remember the other week when I was talking about the War of the Triple Alliance with the Brazilians, and then you telling me the Perrys made a range, and then I spent ages on their website, and then I spent ages looking at different websites about the war. I had to literally stop myself, and I had a moment of clarity when I thought, why do I need these?
But
doesn't happen very often.
Everything, couldn't you? I mean, why do we need them? Because
I want them.
Because I want them. Exactly. That's exactly the answer.
Because I want them. See, I go the other way. If I can't wargame or paint, I tend to ignore my wargaming painting, and I start like writing little adventures for RPGs or doing world creation or working on rules and things like that. I've got like a whole massive A4 notepad just stuffed with ideas and little rules for either like campaigns or potential rules for systems. I go down that route. So really, it's a wargaming kind of I use to keep me in check and from going off on a bit of a tangent. So because
interesting thing from Stuart here. He works on the principle of doing something every day, be it planning, any form of hobby or playing a game, to keep the creative juices flowing.
Yeah,
I mean, I know.
You can see that.
Nick from Idic Beer, he a couple of years back, he went through that thing where he painted an hour a night for and he flew through so much painting just by doing an hour. And it's interesting when you see just how much can be done. But I couldn't just do it if I've got the time and I'm sat at the desk and I've got some good music, I've got some coffee or Vimto or what have you. I can just keep painting and painting and painting.
Oh yeah, many a night if I'm into painting something and Elaine's on the bed, and I'll just sit up until wee small hours just because I put something silly on the telly, and just be in that mode of just wanting to finish that unit, whatever it is, move on to the next unit. Yeah, absolutely. It's so relaxing. Up to the point I go, shit, I've got work tomorrow. I really ought to go to bed. really ought to go to bed.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do. I think it's definitely that kind of thing. It's kind of relaxing, but also metronomic in a way. It's like, I've just got to get this next one done. I'm just going to finish this unit off. The worst thing I find is when you are 90% finished on a unit, and you think, and it's like 2:00 in the morning, you think, well, I might as well finish it now then, aren't I? And then and then the clock ticks by again, and I think it's
just going back to the excuse me, so the sort of the reading or the research side of things. You can't paint, you can't game, you can't do any hobby. But imagine you've got access to the internet though. I'm trying to think of the best way to word this. Do you look at sort of periods that you're already familiar with or games you already play, or do you think I might do something a bit left field? I might look at something I've never really looked at before.
What if I had all the time in the world?
Yes.
And no. I personally like finding out, like, especially with, say, the Wars of the Roses, I like finding out those little snippets of information that you can then build like a whole squad, or like say for Bolt Action, you build a whole squad around like one thing like that. So I like going through and say, you might find just one line in some chronicle you're reading where it says like Henry Neville charged the pickets, and then he got dragged off his horse and killed. And then you read around it a little bit more, and you basically you can sort of like, oh, now I want to do this guy's unit because he was an idiot and he decided to charge into the enemy camp and basically start just killing the guards, and then his other men just didn't charge with him and left him there. And you can just get I like finding out little stories like that because then it gives me ideas about what to do in there. So I tend to read about stuff I've already got, but in areas where I may not be as familiar. If that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's bolt action. I'm always trying to find obscure lists or battles that not many people know about, and then try and think of something to do with that. It's sometimes you have to temper yourself. You got to rein yourself in sometimes, because it can get completely out of hand. My mate's like that. He loves the planning side, and he loves the they're doing the research in the background. At the moment, he sent me a message before saying that over the weekend he's planned out 3,500 points of US infantry.
Jesus,
wow,
that's a lot.
But then he'll be distracted by something else, and he'll go off down that particular rabbit hole as well. But he said that's the side of it he really enjoys, is the research, then finding the appropriate theatre book for bolt action, and then making your list and then deciding, I want that figure, I need that unit, I want to do that, I want to paint them like that. So I think the planning side is really good, if you can keep it under control. Otherwise, it does have a habit of taking on a life of its own.
But can you plan things for the future, like literally the future, or does it have to happen in the next 6 months or so? Or,
no,
could it just be a distant dream to do it?
If I have a really, really good idea and I really want to start it, I want to do it straight away. Like last week, I was chatting to my mate. Those British in Burma that I'm working on.
Yeah.
I've decided that project is completely just shut down, and I won't be doing it. So I've got a bunch of British plastics knocking around. So I thought, ooh, what can I do with them? So I thought I'll try and kit bash some chindits. So I literally, when I had the idea, I stopped what I was doing in the living room, came in here and under my desk where all my boxes are, and I was pulling boxes and sprues out to try and build these chindits. And that was like 10 minutes after having the idea.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm the opposite. I love, so I do a mixed bag of research. Depends what stage I am in a project. So sometimes I'll just read around it and watch battle reports and histories and stuff. But I fundamentally love history. So I can sit and watch a video or read a book or watch a film about pretty much any historical period and find it quite interesting and inspiring. And a lot of those just sort of sit on the back burner and never actually go anywhere. But I just think, that'd be fun to wargame. And I kind of sometimes get down to the point of working through, you could do this, and if I was going to do it, I'd do this. But it never actually, not never, because it generally eventually does, but it doesn't happen for a goodly while. I talked about when we did the thing about the films and what have you, and I talked, 55 Days in Peking is one of the films I just loved as a kid. And the idea of doing something around the Boxer Rebellion. And I find myself watching videos about that and historical stuff about that. And lo and behold, Atlantic Miniatures are going to be doing some Boxer stuff. So it may well happen. But, that was sort of planned years ago and thought about years and years ago. And it may see the light. It will see the light of day. It's just a question of time. But, yeah.
I know that last weekend I rewatched Glory.
Right, yeah.
The next day, I definitely wasn't looking at Perry's American Civil War stuff. I really wasn't, and I really wasn't planning on doing any sharp practice.
Yeah.
You're
paying. Did you guys see King Matt's the mortar that he put up today?
Yes.
Oh my god, it's so cool. It's just so cool. That was making. See, I do have the same thing with films, but where it's like, that would be a lot of fun, and then I tend to sort of like go over and then look at my bookshelf as it is and go, no, still got this. I've still got to do, my Wars of the Roses thing is going to carry on for a while because I've still got no, I haven't done this, guys. I still haven't done Bosworth. I still haven't done this, so that will just sit there and roll on, I guess. But I still need to find something to do for World War II. Obviously, I do the Flames of War thing, but I still need to find some bolt. I need to find something to excite me, so I can do a bolt action force or an Operation Squad force. I did. Oh yeah, by the way, I didn't even put up any pictures from our Operation Squad game that I messaged you guys about last week.
Oh yeah, I wonder why.
I noticed that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you get annihilated?
So in Operation Squad, you can throw grenades back at people if you haven't acted. So my opponent basically played baseball with all my grenades and just kept knocking them back at me, which was winding me up by the end. But my partisans were taken apart, like they were taken apart and I think I was left with two. There was one basically hiding behind a tractor with a brain gun, and then and because he was using his US, I killed one, and that was because he stumbled and stayed in the open, and I blasted him. But that was it. But I do enjoy that game. But yeah, because you can throw your grenades back. It was just there was just explosions going off everywhere. You'd have thought that my men were just killing themselves, but it was actually grenades getting thrown back at them.
Oh, there's a suggestion from Leslie. What about Fury?
What about it? Oh, what am I going to do it?
Inspiration for bolt action.
I've already painted up 3 Shermans as British, but I don't know. I was thinking Finnish. I was thinking of doing the Finns because I am interested in the Finnish in the Winter War. So I was thinking about doing something there. I thought that'd be quite cool. But then I've got to do snow, and I don't want to go back down that rabbit hole.
See, excuse me. When I was thinking about new bolt action project, I remembered that film that I think did we all watch it last year about the Estonians?
Oh yes.
No, I couldn't find it. I messaged you guys about it, and no one could remember what exactly its name was. And when I looked for it, I couldn't find it.
And just that was enough. And then I watched The Unknown Soldier. And while I was in the middle of watching that, I was texting my mate about how to kit bash plastic fins in the middle of a film.
You're a bad case. You are.
I've got some issues. Bit off topic, Drew. Wants to know about Deathcore of Krieg Law. Who's that guy that does law videos on YouTube? Is it Lutin?
There's a couple. There's a guy in the chat. I'm sorry, I've forgotten your name. There's someone here called is it Kriegsman who's in the chat, usually watching, who's got this massive Deathcore of Krieg army. So I'm sure if he's watching, he'll help out. But no, there's one I think that's just called 40k Law.
There was one 40k Law. No, I've just had a quick check, Drew. Lutin09. That's LUETIN 09. They're always showing up in my recommendations that they do a lot of 40k Law. I'm pretty sure he will have done Deathcore of Krieg at one point.
Did you guys see Henry Cavill turning up at
Yes.
Games Workshop and wandering around there?
Jesus. That's a PR coup and a half, isn't it? Yeah.
It is, although I do imagine that the people who worked there were very, very happy. I did see, like, when he started, he wandered around that bit that Ken dragged you around after Krakon when you were still pissed, so you agreed to go with him.
I only went because it was a nice breakfast. But yeah, it was. Yeah, you're right. Oh, Simon's right. The film I'm just looking up. Actually, the film was 1944. It's called.
Yes. Oh, that was.
Right.
Oh, yeah, was it Latvia or Estonia?
Oh no, you're right. Oh no, was it? No, it was Latvians. It was Latvians. I did the army afterwards. See, of course, it's Latvians.
Oh, it's
Latvians on the German side against Latvians on the Soviet side, basically, wasn't it?
No, it's saying Estonia.
Okay. Was it? Sure, it was Latvian.
Sorry, that's made me chuckle.
No, on IMDb, it says Estonians.
I'm confused now. Anyway, it was a very good film.
Give me 2 seconds. My phone's ringing. I won't be long.
It was a very good film, whatever it was. I can't remember. That shows how much I'm inspired by movies. But it was called 1944. It's well worth. I think it was on Netflix. But it was
I haven't watched sorry, we could get a bit off topic. I haven't actually watched a really good historical film for ages. I can't think of the last one I watched that I really enjoyed. So I'm a bit. I don't know if it's just I haven't been watching that many, but I don't know. I mean, I'll watch it. I'm a bit like you. I'll watch anything if it's got a historical, even if it's got like just, it has a date on it. I'll watch it, but I can't think
I've
of
got a
one
bit
that's
of an
really-
oddity on things like that because I know you get quite angry when films aren't accurate and stuff.
No, it's not. No. It's not. I don't get angry when they're not accurate. What I get annoyed at is when they blatantly, like either get something so like heinously wrong or they deliberately portray it as wrong. That's when it winds me up. When they just kind of go lowest common denominator, which is no one will care. That's when it annoys me. Like at the start of Braveheart, where they get the year wrong. That the guy is like, King Alexander has died, and they put the wrong bloody year on there. It's like we're 2.5 seconds into the film. That annoyed me.
I just wound him up already. Yeah, no, I get that. No, I think my problem, I have this sort of filter. I think it's sort of sometimes when I'm in full historical, if it's something that genuinely tries to be historically accurate and it's not, then I get angry. Or switch off or what have you. I'd probably get angry and watch it for a bit longer and then eventually switch it off. But if it's something just is supposed to be stupidly stupid, like a Hollywood movie, then I sort of park that. I can't be asked to worry about it.
Well, I suppose, it's all down to intention, isn't it? You know, like is it just an action film? It just happens to be, like I quite like that film Ironclad, which is ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous, but I really enjoy it. But there are other films out there again, like the aforementioned Mel Gibson movie, which I can't stand. That other film I can't stand it is done that everyone seems to like is the one about the Mayans. Although it's not about the Mayans, it's about the Aztecs, but it can't make up its mind which one it's about. Like whether it's the Mayans or the Aztecs.
I don't think I've seen that one. Thankfully,
Apocalypse.
Oh, Apocalypse. Oh, sorry. Yes, I have seen that. Of course, I have. Yeah. Yeah. No. Oh God, no.
But anyway, yeah. Steve, you need to change the subject, dude, because I'm going to go find.
Martin's having a go about films again.
No, he's not.
I know. I did. I wound him up. Sorry. It was point and shoot, and it wasn't fair. But no, I do like to watch other people's videos of doing other projects. I think that really does inspire me. So if you've got the internet but you haven't got anything else, it is a great source. So it's a terrible rabbit warren of possibilities and things that can get you in all kinds of trouble.
That's why sometimes I'm terrified to look at my recommendations because you see all kinds of different games. I mean, last night I even watched a battle report event, 2nd edition 40k. I'm not joking. I was sat there. I was almost in tears with the nostalgia.
Really? Oh, wow.
But it got me thinking. For a small fraction of a second, how easy would it be to start playing 40k 2nd edition again?
I sort of can see the nostalgia. Well, I'm not because I never really played it, but I still watch some of those games, and various systems. I won't mention necessarily all of them here, but I'll start watching something because everybody else talks about how great it is, or it's the next exciting thing, and I'll start watching. Yeah, okay, well, I'll see what it's like, and after 10 minutes, I go, that's just shit. No, I just no. I know my games. I know it's like everything. I know what I like, and I like what I know, kind of thing. Or don't. No, that's not true, because I play most things. But there are some systems you just look at and you go, no, no.
Like I say,
no. 40k is definitely one of those.
Yeah. Well, what Lee said about 2nd Ed, I loved 2nd Ed. It was just such a good game, and it was what the main thing about 2nd edition. It was fun. You always had fun when you were playing. Always, not so much towards the end when we were taking the same armies week after week, and then we were slowly eroding our friendships because we wanted to destroy and annihilate one another every Tuesday night without fail. But yeah, it was. Well, yeah, everyone's playing it. Even Johnny B's playing it. He played 2nd Ed on Saturday. I wish I hadn't mentioned this now. I really want to play 2nd Ed again.
Oh dear.
Definitely
because that's what is it now? 7th Ed or something now, isn't it?
Ninth.
Oh, God. But it's changed so much though.
Right. But it's become almost retro now, because that 40K was one of those systems that more than any other system, I think, where people just never went back. That the system would move on. Everyone went on with it, and I know there's a degree of that in every system. But 40K was always one of those ones that just seemed to be, oh no, I can't do that again. So
no, we didn't.
We go back now and play it.
We played upset. We played Second Ed to death. We played so many games of that over the course of about 3 or 4 years, and then actually more than that. Actually, we played it for a good while, and then third Ed came out, and I've got the book, but I think I played one game, and then we thought this isn't very interesting. And then everyone buggered off to university, and then we never saw each other again for years and years and years. So we just didn't play it anymore. But I don't know. It's like you say, it wasn't. I wasn't painting. I wasn't gaming. I wasn't doing anything. I was just watching a couple of YouTube videos, and now I've got this hankering to play Second Ed. It's just bizarre. Did you play Second Ed, Martin?
Yeah, that was the one. That was the first war game I ever bought. I got my Second Ed starter from Argos for Christmas from my mum. Back where you got your 40 Gretchen, your 20 Orcs, and your 20 Space Marines, and your cardboard scenery. And I only recently just got rid of a bunch of that stuff. I played that. What I loved about that was, and I didn't realize it, that was one of the first games where it was the first game I played, and you had cards for all the vehicles. Do you remember? You had cards at every single game. And I had the Dark Millennium box, which had all of the extra psychic powers and war gear cards and all of that. And then everything kind of went the other way, and it ended up just being it had to be noted down from a book, and you couldn't get it. And now, funnily enough, it's gone back. Like, now there's stratagems and psychic cards and all that. In fact, I've got a box of psychic cards for something here because Ken tried to put it in someone's giveaway bag at Krakon, but it was like 5 editions out of date or something, so I fished it out.
The one I watched, I was just saying to Dom, I watched a Second Ed battle report last night. It was Ash from Guerrilla Miniatures, and he was playing a proper old school game of Second Ed, 4x4 table, Space Marines versus Orcs. There was Pain Boys, there was mechs, it was just nostalgia. And I just really enjoyed it. So I don't know.
Can you go back though to that? I mean, clearly it's nostalgia for you, but would you seriously go back and play that and start again, build another army because of nostalgia, or is it just lovely to watch it and you sort of that sort of warm glow of, it'd be lovely to do it again?
Do you know what I'm going to compare it to?
Yeah.
The re-release of the Grand Theft Auto games last year. Because for the first couple of weeks, I thought, the nostalgia, these are brilliant. After 2 weeks, I was like, bloody hell, these are crap. Yeah. These controls are awful, and it's just not very much. It's just not much fun to play. But I think that's whether that would happen if I got back into second edition. All I remember about second edition is that it played really well. The rules were just dead straightforward and simple, and it was just such a great game. So, Dom, is there any games from your past that you've not played for a good while that you dropped but would consider picking up again?
Definitely. I would do Warhammer Ancient Battles. And I've got all the books and I've got the rules, and I think I talked about this before, but it's kind of, I love my ancients. I love ancient wargaming, and we played Warhammer Ancient Battles religiously for years and years and years. And I've got in the back corner there, smacking myself in the earphone. I've got thousands of 28mm ancients based up for Warhammer Ancient Battles, and then they stopped supporting it and the thing died, and we kind of did that thing that everyone seems to do, and that's what I was saying, we also just sort of drop the rules and move on to something else, but nothing else has ever been as much fun. Like you say, it was just fun. I enjoyed the games, and so I have still got all the rule books, and I do honestly mean to get the figures out and re-glue the spears and things on them, and maybe sort out their basing because it's shocking.
So what happened to Warhammer Ancients? Did did people just stop playing it? Was it unsupported?
Yeah, they just stopped supporting it.
Well, weren't the Perrys quite heavily involved in it? And then
They
obviously
were,
once they were like my Warhammer Ancients Battles rulebook, there was just loads of pictures of the Perrys and playing it. And so I think when did they start Perry Miniatures? Was it about 2006, something like that? Just after it must have been after the Lord of the Rings films. So that was the last one of them came out in 2003. So what was it, mid 2000s that they started Perry Miniatures? Anybody in the chat know? But they would have been, I imagine, one of the main driving forces behind that, given what their interests are. And Rick Priestley and is it Jervis Johnson? Was he
Jervis?
Yeah. So I imagine once they're there, they're not there anymore, and then slowly people.
I think to be honest, what happened was that there was a guy, and I forget his name now, who was the main driving force behind it, and Warlord was it not who Games Workshop stopped supporting it, and he tried to go out alone and set up his own thing, but it never really took off. There was another rule set that came out which was influenced by it, and it was literally they pulled the plug on it overnight and said we're not supporting this anymore. And it was the rules are great, and I really, really enjoyed them. I mean, they may be, so maybe it's a bit of that sort of glory remembers. You know, if I pulled them out and played a game, and I think that's maybe what's held me back, because now I got all the figures out again, and played a game, and I go, you know what's this shit? I'd be really upset because I remember years of playing it.
That's it. Yeah, no, they said the Perrys left in 2005. Peter Gray, Warhammer Ages. I know it was. What I'm saying is that it had to have been after because I was trying to work out when the Perrys left, which would have been after the Lord of the Rings license, because obviously they designed pretty much everything for those first few ones.
Yeah, it was a passion project. You're right, and basically, I think they were Games Workshop almost sort of kind of allowed them to do it, and then at some point they just went, nah, stop that, and that was it. And yeah, but it was great.
I think Warlord Games was created.
Warlord Games suddenly popped out of it. But there were lots of offshoots, and people talk about various versions of the rules, but it wasn't Warhammer Historicals, which I loved, really did. So, but yeah, one day I will get it out. But I think what's holding me back, as I say, is genuinely thinking, Jesus, what if I get it back out again? I think it's very good.
One of my problems at the minute when I've got nothing to do, Dom will know this because I was talking to him about it the other day, but I won't go on about it. Is I was like, oh, I actually not that I have a lot of money, but I've got money that I could use to maybe have a look at things in the wargaming world from a different idea. Sculpt, as you say, let's have a look at things. And I start spending hours and hours like looking at different names and costs and things like that. So it can be quite dangerous having downtime, to be fair.
No, I know what you mean. You just get so many ideas. And I've tried over the past year, I've really tried to contain myself project-wise. But things just keep
that was the guy. Sorry, Steve. Rob Broom. He was the guy. It was his passion project. Yeah, absolutely.
It seems really strange now. Games Workshop doing historicals. It does seem really strange. I mean, because they did Legends of the Old West as well.
Yeah, they did. I sold off all my Warhammer Ancient Battles. I bought into Warhammer Ancient Battles. So that's why I had all those. Do you remember those Foundry Romans that I pulled out a few months ago? That's what I had all of them for. And that was when I was doing my Latin GCSE. I was like, I was trying to pass it. Genuinely, I was trying to pass it off as my coursework. Doing an accurate century. And having 80 men. That's what I was looking at. And I had that. I had the Chariot Wars book. I had the Agincourt book. I had the obviously the core rule book. I had the Dark Age one, late Roman one, and I just sold them all on a bundle for not very much money on eBay.
They're worth a bit now, Martin. You shouldn't have done
Yes, I know. Well, yeah, but I'm not one to have books hanging around for ages, I suppose. I'm looking at my rule books now going, it's about time that I slimmed them down a little bit.
If anybody actually managed to get the there was a Waterloo one apparently, which I never got. Apparently the rules are shocking, but the book's lovely. I would love to have that. If anyone's got one of those.
I'm just on eBay at the moment, and there's quite a few copies of it going.
There was two editions.
Yeah, I'm not bothered about the old one particularly.
No, it looks really interesting, actually. No,
Yeah.
no, must resist. It must resist.
There you go, Steve. You've fallen into it. They did some amazing periods. I mean, there's the Byzantine one, Vlad the Impaler edition, Shield Wall, El Cid, the Oriental one, which I never did. Never played any of those, but had to have the book, of course. Siege. There you go, Martin. You do like a good siege, don't you?
I do like a good siege. You're right, and hopefully there will be a siege happening in the not too distant future. I got a game against Miller on set. That's why I'm painting. I'm painting up casualties for the English Civil War. That's why I'm painting them on here, because I can just given my dice rolling, I thought I'd paint up another pack of casualties. So we're playing Pike and Shot on Saturday, which there will be a battle report for. I
think you're right, Peter.
Probably, yeah. I forgot what my point was, actually. What was my point?
Doing casualties.
Miller's probably going to win.
Miller's going to win. We know Miller's
who won the game between Miller and Matt? Who won?
I think.
Well, weren't they on the same side in the end? They worked out.
Didn't Cromwell was killed, wasn't he? Not that much. Every time I walked past that table, though, they were just both of them were just pushing more and more figures onto the table. It was.
I was worried for the supports on the table.
Yeah, the table was creaking as you walked past.
It was Matt.
Matt. Yeah,
so that bodes well. That bodes well. Yeah, that bodes well for me. So that's all right. That's absolutely. Oh, sieges. That's it. We're just talking about sieges. That's why. So, Miller, maybe you should, if you don't want your Star Fort, you maybe should chuck that in the raffle. Could you do it? Could you raffle away that Star Fort and watch someone walk out with it? What if it was Matt that won it and walked out with it?
Oh, dear.
That wouldn't go down well. Yeah, it's a good point from Simon. The only games playing now: Bolt Action, Tank War, Blood Bowl, and Oathmark. I play. Well, I'm meant to be playing Blood Bowl when I can get these orcs painted. I've only been painting them for 5 years. That's literally how long I've been painting these orcs for. Although in 2 weeks' time, I get to try out my new copy of Hero Quest.
Why in 2 weeks?
Because I'm going around my brothers and me and my nephew. I'm going to be the dungeon. I can't remember his name. The dungeon master evil guy, and they're going to be running the campaign, the fodder,
the victims.
Having been through it though, it's great that they've changed the miniature slightly, but everything else is just as it was 30 years ago. So yes,
amazing.
I'm very happy they didn't mess around with it. They didn't decide to screw with the rules or introduce new bits and pieces. So no, I'm very, very happy with that.
Are you going to bother painting it, or are you just going to leave it as is?
No, I'm not going to paint it because I think with board games it looks better with unpainted pieces. It just looks. I don't know what it is. I did the same with Dark Souls. I'd love to paint my Dark Souls figures because they are some really nice figures, but I just think they look better without being painted.
There you go, Dom.
Yeah, I did actually. He asked me what rules I thought he should play with his daughter for that, and I said Oathmark. I thought was really good on the basis of the one game I've had. So apologies if it wasn't any good, but I thought it was a good rule system, really clever rule system, and I like the empire building on it, which I think he does too. So yeah, absolutely.
Jim's trying to get back. Jim, I'm the same. I would love to get back into. In fact, why do we do it at Krakon? If we've got a spare table, let's play some first edition X-Wing.
Do you know why? Do you know why you should do it at Krakon? Because he sells it, Steve, and you'll walk straight from the table. You'll go, I just lost this game. What I need is an Imperial shuttle, and walk to the shelf and then buy
it.
Jim, we should discuss this. We might have to play a bit of X-Wing first edition at Krakon. I shall be in touch, my good man.
Yeah, Pirate, I used to play a lot of tournaments with WAB. Me and my mate Nick, we used to play doubles all the time when there was a doubles scene for WAB. It was great fun, really good fun. It was less serious than some of the WRG stuff that I used to play, proper competition gaming. We used to do those. It was good fun. Yeah, I don't know. It's. I think the thing is there are so many. I mean, we talk about it all the time. There are so many. I admire Alex. I think just said he only ever plays Lardy games now, and
Yes.
I admire that discipline. I just don't have it, and you know, I bought 2 rule books this week for goodness sake. You know, it's like I actually really like buying rule books and just looking through them, and yeah, sometimes they'll play, sometimes I won't, but just actually having a read through them, and that could be as much of an inspiration for a period as anything else. But again, I think I've mentioned before, I need to have a rule set in mind as well as the project in mind to really get going on something. So I find it really difficult without it.
Yeah.
But,
Interesting question here from Jason. How do you guys feel about unofficial rule sets for games no longer supported?
I
don't have a problem.
No, I think if people are carrying on the tradition or keeping the game alive, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean I guess that's the whole sort of official thing is kind of contrary to my kind of experiences. I guess that's the Games Workshop thing, isn't it? Approved stuff. You're only allowed to come to this competition or play this game if you've got approved equipment or whatever.
Yeah,
I don't.
Isn't
like
that. Isn't that how Kill Team originally came about? Wasn't Kill Team like an unofficial? I remember there was loads of unofficial support for Kill Team, or was it something that got released in a White Dwarf and then people just took it to heart? There was like a whole website just filled and filled and filled with army lists and ideas and scenarios, which were all unofficial before this Kill Team, like the most recent and the one before it, iteration came out. So yeah, I think it's fine. I think it's good. I think it's good to like let people be creative. And if there's an IP or something you like, but you don't like the current rules for it, then you can go to town.
It's like homebrew rules, isn't it? People build their own rules, and that's fantastic. I think if that's what you want to play, then go for it. I don't have a problem with that at all.
I know I've mentioned it before, but there's a movement now called Inquisimunder. It's been going on a couple of years now, and it's a cross between Inquisitor and Necromunda. And I think they produce a magazine twice a year. It's not very often, but it's all fan made. And they've taken the 2 games, Necromunda and Inquisitor, and they've done some completely insane stuff. They've fleshed out an entire world just on unofficial rules. So it can be done. It really, really is good.
I think at the end of the day, it comes down to who you're playing with, doesn't it? I mean, if your group of your gaming buddies or the people you happen to play down the club with or wherever you happen to play, like to muck around and adapt rules, build their own rule systems, then that's fantastic. I mean, at our club, there's a large group of guys who they play every week, playing a house rule set that they've modified, which works for everything from ancient through fantasy up to Renaissance and into Napoleonics. It's fundamentally the same rule set. They've just modified it for each of them, and it's basically a big game. They'll have, I don't know, about 8 or 10 tables and thousands of figures, and probably five players aside minimum playing it, and they love it, and that's what they do. And the beauty of it is it's all fundamentally the same rule system, but just tweaked a bit. So when they're playing ancients, it'll have a certain variations, obviously, and then Napoleonics, but there's still that same feel. I guess it's a bit like Black Powder and Pike and Shot and that sort of thing. So there's a familiarity, which is great. But I actually personally don't much like the rule system, which is fundamentally a problem. But that's just my personal feeling with them. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's supposed to be fun, right? And if you enjoy it, and that's what your opponents love, your group of friends love, you have a laugh doing it.
Well, we're myself and Robin should be having our next Wars of the Roses game, hopefully fingers crossed tomorrow, if not next week. And we're doing something a bit different. So again, we've taken those Hail Caesar rules, but now we're actually going to push them into something that they've never been. We've kind of dabbled in it a little bit, but we're going to be pushing into. I don't know how Ken's going to feel about it because there's going to be very little measuring involved. You know, I know he's got some issues about there not being a tape measure on the table. So
I'd have to say my mate Jonathan, who I play against most often, he has this thing about it because you know, it's Dead Man's Hand. You're not supposed to measure, are you? Or you know, measure once in the.
Yeah, you can measure once. Yeah.
And he just can't handle that. It's like, what? It's the funniest thing. It's like telling somebody they can't measure or they can't pre-measure or something.
Oh, no. The problem is we were talking about this. Do you remember in the old, I can't remember which fantasy battles it was, but you remember when you said like guessed a range of a catapult?
Oh yeah,
guessed a range.
And
he, because he's a handyman at a hotel, he's amazing at guessing distances. He was just like, that's 49 inches. And we just nailed it. So when they got rid of that rule, it was like, even though it got rid of that whole flavour, I was so happy because I always missed out because I'd always miss things by quite a long way. But yeah, it's funny, isn't it? How some games it's like, yes, pre-measuring is allowed. Other games pre-measuring isn't allowed. Then you get Dead Man's Hand, which is pre-measuring is allowed for your first move, but not for the other.
It's a weird thing, isn't it? Why did they work that one through?
I think their idea of that is because it's your first action, you'd be able to tell if you could make it that far. I think that was how I kind of squared it, because we've had this debate a few times, which is why have they done that? I think it's because you'd be able to measure. You can measure your first move, so you can never measure range, but you can always measure your first movement because I guess so much just relies. I think it's to keep things fast and quick. So, and also it's that. Am I painting Ken's new house? Yes. Yes.
I know when it came to measuring things, right? When I used to play X-Wing a lot, because you can't pre-measure. You've got to, it's all about planning your maneuvers with your templates, and you learn your templates like they were just burnt into your brain, and you can see people when you play against them doing mental eye mathematics on the table, trying to work out the angles and what's going to go where. It's terrifying, but it's quite fun though.
Do you know what was worse than trying to remember the templates? It was trying to remember what your opponent's ships could do. Because I spent ages like, right, TIE fighters can do this really, really fast move and and then I remember going up against the Imperial shuttle. I was like, all right, I'm going to come around here. And it stopped. Yeah. It just stopped. So I went straight at it and it stopped. So I was just parked in front of it. And I think Darth Vader was in it because you could put him as a pilot and he just destroyed Wedge Antilles, who's like the best pilot on the Rebel side. It's a I do enjoy that game, and the problem is if you guys play it, I'm going to want to play it. And
if there is a spare table, because I know where James has just said possibly having an X-Wing or Armada table, I will bring X-Wing stuff because I've not played that game in so long.
I've never played it, so I'll be up for having a go because I'd like.
You see, we've been talking again. I think I talked about this with you, Steve, which is the idea of playing an Armada game, then playing an X-Wing game, and then playing a Star Wars Legion game to represent the big space battle, the dogfight, and then the ground assault or something like that.
That'd be really, really good.
What are your current favorite
current? Oh, that's a tricky one.
Oh, Jesus,
Alex, that is a tricky one. Can you put a game you've never played?
That says everything about you at the moment, Steve.
Does your game involve carrots?
No. I wasn't thinking that. To be fair, though, I was thinking about turnip. I am getting quite close to being able to solo it because I've only got 3 bases.
Is that legal?
Left.
Solo a carrot?
Solo in my turnip.
It's illegal in some countries. I'll tell you that.
I'm in the north. Anything goes up here. No, I was thinking of O Group.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
I've not played it, but it's currently a game I'm stupendously interested in playing. Just from just from the battle reports that I've watched, it just looks it looks enjoyable, but it looks so in depth as well.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Like I say, I'm squarely blaming Alex for this because I spent a Sunday watching a load of his own group videos.
It's funny, I got into that same sort of feeling. You mentioned that, and that's bang on what I've been thinking about. I'm kind of liking these rules that are a little bit complex, but not too complex. Just give you a bit more than just roll a few dice. You have to actually think a little bit, and I do like that. It's like we found that with General Dame, Battlefront, O Group. Definitely, I want to play for that very reason. Just that little bit more, but not stupidly complicated.
Yeah, I don't know. I find it really hard to pick a rule set. See, I really enjoy, obviously, the Hail Caesar Wars of Roses, but only because I've bastardized it to suit me. I don't.
And that works really nicely, though. But you see, I think you've done that same effect with that War of the Roses edition, because it's still basically very simple, but has a bit more complication to it to make it really feel like the right period.
Yeah,
that's the thing. I'm trying to think of what my favourite. I really, really liked, and I think I might be in a minority here. I really liked, and I don't think you guys have played it, the by fire and sword rule set. I really enjoyed that. Now I know they're gearing up for a new edition and they're completely changing the rules, which loads of people. But you can still, but you can still play the old. I'll still be playing the old rule set definitely because I loved it. I'm just looking at my rules. I do quite enjoy Saga, but I wouldn't say it was my favourite. Alex, that's a really buggering question because I don't know the answer.
I think sharp practice for me has to be up there. I love a sharp practice game.
I do love muskets and tomahawks. I do love muskets and tomahawks.
Repeatability, going back to a game, I love that.
The game that I of sharp practice I played with David and Owen at Krakon. That was a tremendous way to spend a morning. It was a lot of fun. My cavalry charge will go down in infamy as just one of the worst things I've ever done in gaming.
Actually, I'll tell you what I'll go off now. At the moment, and this is I love Test of Honor. I love the Test of Honor rule set. I really do. I think it's fast. It's got a good balance between action fiction kind of thing and then reality, because obviously it is making your samurai a proper hero, whereas he can kind of walk through quite a lot of troops. I just really like the flavor of it. I like the combat system, and I think is great with the back and forth where you can actually feel like you're having a duel across an area, and the duel isn't stationary. This is what I quite like about it. We were talking about before and I couldn't really put my finger on it, and then after the last game you're not just in base contact and then that's it, you're locked into one of you's dead. One of them can you can knock someone back, then you get a follow-up move, so you go charging after them, but then you might fumble and they trip you over, and the duels tend to move around quite a lot, and I quite enjoy that. The game's very fluid, so you
do like your cinematic type games, don't you?
For skirmishes, yes. For skirmishes, I do, because to me that's what if you're going to do skirmish wargaming, that's kind of what it is. I want to have that feel, which is why I like things like Operation Squad and Bolt Action Firefight. It's like Dirty Dozen, Commando comics. But yeah, obviously on the mass battle, that doesn't bother me particularly. But yeah, no, I think you say on those I do quite like that cinematic feel.
Yeah. I haven't played it, but I do like the look of it, I have to say.
I do.
You'll get your chance at Krakon because Drew's going to be running demos.
Well, I'm going from table to table. Bugger that. I don't want to.
Well, actually, yes. You are, aren't you? You're our man on the ground, aren't you?
I'm going to be the roaming reporter.
He's also our first aid representative, our complaints representative, our PR representative, our vlogger, and just basically, if you've got a problem, go to Dom.
Any kind of crap going on, I deal with it. Apparently.
And if you got a complaint and it
we
might
get
get a bit rough.
Haley involved. Then.
I was going to say, yeah, go to Haley.
Yeah, any kind of violence involved, I'm bringing Haley in because I don't deal with that sort of stuff.
No, I could see Ken starting the violence and then Haley having to sort it out. I could see that happening.
Yeah.
Ken, do you know what Ken told me about going out one night? He told me that I can't remember why this came up, but he sort of said, I'm one of those guys, I'll probably say the wrong thing and then there'll be a fight in a bar. And I sort of said, oh, great. He goes, oh, it's great. I do a really good impression of Roadrunner.
Speaking of rules, like you might not want to go back to. Do you know the other week Matt posted on Facebook? It was a giant, great big picture of BattleTech.
Oh yeah,
and I read some reviews, and it just said it's still dice, lots and lots of dice and clunky rules, and I don't know. I really wanted to get back into it.
Yeah,
but I don't think I will. I was close to buying. the starter box. You get the starters about £70. You get your mats, you get your mechs, loads of it just look good. But sometimes it's like Don mentioned earlier before about second ed. Is it just the nostalgia that's driving you?
Yeah,
that always strikes me more of a video game than an actual game. If you see what I mean?
Yes. I've played lots of iterations of it. The last one I played was the Mercenaries game, and I did not like it at all. I just did not get along with that. I don't know what it was. I used to play it quite a lot on PC in the early 2000s with god awful blocky graphics, but no, they were quite fun. What have we got? What have people been saying? Oh, here's one. You might have ordered the Sharp Practice and Infamy bundles early this afternoon.
Good for you. Good job. You won't go far wrong with that.
What's Lionheart? Hang on. What's he saying? What am I using for the fog effect at the bottom? I'm going to have someone vaping next to the table and they're just going to keep blowing up the table. No. We're going to do to represent the misalignment of the forces. Actually, I don't want to give anything away. There's going to be some modifiers in play, basically.
He's being tricky, basically.
I'm being tricksy. For the people involved, I've got pages of stuff actually that I've written out for things. I might even have been printing out little flags for each person to have near them, so we know who is who. So it's short. It's just short of name tags. I'm going to make people have a little livery flag near them.
Love it.
You have to be a mentat to play 9th edition 40k. I was amazing. My mate told me to roll 52d6 for one squad to shoot another. That sounds like too many dice to me. Right, I think have we got any news?
There's a little bit, I think.
I think we should. We'll move. And this week we saved Ken's attempts at his news music. I'm not sure I can take any more of that. Right, I've got no news. I never do. So what have you guys got?
Dom looks like he's doing something. I've got a couple of bits. What did I have? Oh, okay, so I've just got two things. So I see another rule set I really like. I really like the skirmish rule set Bushido. It's another game that I really enjoy. But they've got their next wave of releases. And obviously when we're doing the news, we don't pick but I picked out this fella who's from the new ninja, one of the new ninjas. Obviously these are cool because these are always produced in metal. Which is lovely these days, and I can tell you that the renders the sculpts do the renders justice. You know what I mean? Sometimes you get these really nice looking renders and then it's a piece of crap. But these ones I've always found them to be really, really high quality sculpts and really like very little cleanup involved, and the pieces go together well. If I wasn't demoing well, not demoing. If I wasn't running Wars of Roses, I was going to run Bushido games because it's probably got my favorite combat mechanic in a game, which is a half bluffing system and half sort of a combo system, which I quite enjoy. Anyway, so they've got a new wave. So I think they're on wave 37 or 38 now.
Oh my goodness, really?
So it's a strong, it's a really strong game. I mean, it's annoying though, because do you remember when we went there at Salute and they had every model except the one miniature that I wanted? And I made that guy. This is after we had some beers, wasn't it? It's after Graham, we went and met Graham and had those beers, and then you made me have some beers, and then I insisted that bloke look through every single blister that they had, and they definitely didn't have the one I wanted. And so I went away going, yeah, I'll order it. I still haven't ordered it. I'll probably wait till next time. So anyway, yeah, very, very cool game. And then the other thing I put on here for Ken, but he's not here. So do you remember me and Ken at Warfare? We played last Argument of Kings, Conquest. We played the skirmish version of it, and he played the dwarves. And his complaint was that dwarves didn't really seem to have any kind of big monsters. I think there's like a big dragon they can get, but he didn't. He said he didn't think it was very dwarfy. So they've just released this, this is called the Hellbringer Drake. Okay. Is that a bit more dwarfy?
That is brilliant.
You got to bear in mind as well that this is 38 mil. So the dwarfs here are like the size of Primaris Marines.
It's gonna be
Hang on, do you want to see it from the back? This is the bit. So I was looking at that going, oh, that's cool. Then I looked on the back. I was like, oh god, there's actually dwarfs on those cannons. Look.
Oh my goodness, that is awesome.
That is so cool.
It's so there's in the front, and you know what? I mean, they are pricey. Okay, but
how much is that? 150 quid.
It's going to be 100 at least, I imagine. But the people who are really into it, or like any game, don't seem to have any issue playing it. I was chatting to one guy, I just got bored of GW. It's like, but we bought it, but clearly we're not bored at the prices. And fair enough, But I thought that was cool. I just thought it was cool.
It does look. It's just the size of it. It's massive.
I feel like it should be on the front of a Bolt Thrower album.
Oh yes.
Yeah, but no. So yeah, that was my bits of news. But I basically just had that for Ken. So, but that was it. That was all the news that I had.
I saw a couple of bits.
Oh, there's some new Kill Team box out. There you go.
Oh well, don't care about that. Yeah. Our friends the Perrys have been at it again. More Russians, this time all in winter.
Sure, you said that last week as well, but obviously because something else.
They always do. Yeah. I love the guy, the third from the right. He looks like he's got a proper grin on his face. He looks like he's really up to no good underneath that grey coat.
They look great with some knights' helmets on.
Shut up.
Ditto.
Musketeers there as well. So yeah, that's winter Russian Napoleonics from the Perrys. This stuff.
Ooh.
ARVN paratroopers for Vietnam from Empress. They look rather good.
Empress is doing quite a bit. Have they bought a new line, or are they just having a? Is it me?
Are they just having here? That's another one of theirs. That's another 30-year war cavalryman they brought out.
Cool.
There's a whole range of them. It's all Empress. Some fabulous. And look at those as well.
I do like those. They I don't know something about them, but I just like them.
Oh,
they're real character.
They are really, really nice. I mean, mix those in with the Bicorn and the bloody miniature stuff. You can have a force where everyone is just going to be completely different. That's just a cool thing.
I think they're awesome. So yeah, I don't know what they're doing at the moment, but they're doing it right. So I'm not going to knock it. Also, North Star showed these pictures of their winter Napoleonic range that's coming. So this is the Frenchies wearing their winter get-up.
I do like North Star models. I like the North Star models because I think I said before, I like the muskets because they're proper chunky muskets.
Yeah.
I mean, those are exactly the same as the ones that aren't wearing the clothes. So you've got the ones in uniform. The sculpts are exactly the same, but then they put all the winter gear on. but they look really sweet. And there's a Russian range coming as well, which will be really, really good. So that's that. And the ones that got me very, very moist, I don't mind saying. This is Board Games Atlantic's Japanese box set, which is coming down the line. So this is, well, they claim, and I don't know enough about the period yet, but they claim this will cover you from sort of Boxer Rebellion through the Russo-Japanese War through to the First World War. Pretty much the same uniform, Japanese, and I think they've got different heads for the different periods of them. So they look awesome. And then, of course, they then announced they're going to do the Russians to go with them. So
nice.
There are the Russians, which will also play both sides for the Civil War as well. So not only are they First World War, possible Russo-Japanese War, but also they can be Russian Civil War as well, which is pretty damn awesome. And look at that guy with the the gas mask guy on the end there.
Yes,
definitely turnip duty there.
Turnip it all over right there.
There you go. So they look awesome. So my 55 days in Beijing, in Peking army may well see the light of day.
That's really, really cool. That is very, very cool.
There we go.
Oh, there's that board game, isn't there, that Warlord have released, Combined Arms.
Combined Arms, yeah.
Yeah, we talked about it. Yeah, we showed that. Was it last week? No, I didn't. I think I put it on the Facebook page. That's why I forgot to bring it up here. Yeah, that's true. I don't know about that. Someone mentioned in the chat how they're a bit disappointed because the models weren't very good on it. But I think the whole principle is it's like a board game. You then transfer into it's a campaign.
It's a campaign system. It's a campaign system, isn't it? You know, that's like the GW did Mighty Empires, didn't they, back in the day? That was
so they've been doing bundles, so you get Combined Arms, you get Victory at Sea, and then you get Island Assault. So you've got Bolt Action, Victory at Sea, all in the Pacific, and you can use Combined Arms to run your campaign. But it is very much like Mighty Empires. I definitely agree.
I think it looks quite interesting.
It does.
Intrigued to see how it plays and how it works. I mean, I'm not bothered about the air war version thing, but I do like the boat game and I do like the bolt action. So the airy fighter thing, I'm not sure about, but that's only because I haven't really played it. So
airy fighter, lovely.
Yeah, Alex, he said, "Am I going retreat from Moscow? Sharp practice." I've got a winter Russian army which I was using for muskets and all shakos and bayonets. So it would be very easy to do that. So possibly. So yes, I will.
You probably will.
I probably will.
Sharp practice. Right, we're down to the last 15 minutes or so. So I think it's time we looked at some more awesomeness.
Yes,
like
definitely.
That
time Spitfire.
It does actually. You're right.
So, as usual, massive thanks to everyone that's posted in the Facebook group over the past 7 days. It's really difficult picking things out. It's
getting harder and harder. There's so much stuff.
It is. We'd be here for hours. So what I try and do is a broad mix of different historicals and gaming systems. They're all in alphabetical order because of the way I saved them. So up first, he mentioned them earlier. These are some Death Core of Krieg from Drew. Look at those.
Sweet. I love the basing. Can I see some? Is it pigments you've used?
Yeah, Drew, tell us how you did those bases because they are sweet. I like the blue uniform as well. Very, very French World War One.
They are cool.
They are very, very good. Cracking stuff, Drew. Do they float your boat, Don? Are you interested in Death Core of Krieg?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but I imagine that Dom looks and goes, "I really like those," but then you just go collect World War One Germans because
that's exactly what I was thinking, Martin. You know me too well, yeah.
Up next, now these are brilliant. Now Felix is quite new to the Facebook group. He only joined a fortnight ago, and he's been ploughing through his Napoleonics.
Prolific.
He's prolific. So I chose these because I think these just stood out for me.
Yeah, really nice.
Some French line infantry.
Very nice. I believe these are coming to Krakon. I think he's in this the French game with Drew. So I believe these are coming over. Krakon sort of see these out. They're very nice.
Interesting to see.
I know he's posted lots of Russian stuff as well, hasn't he? So
Yeah. Tell you
very
what, Felix, your Napoleonic output has put mine to shame, mate. It really has. I think that particular boat has flown. Rust pigment on black gravel. Ooh.
There we go.
Okay.
So we did it.
I have to try some of that. Okay, so from Napoleonics onto the Crimean War with Chris's Russians.
They are awesome.
They are so sweet.
Oh, wow.
I just love the expression.
Crisp, aren't they? Jeez.
That's what I mean. Why can't I paint stuff like that? I don't know. But no, just look at the contrast between the sort of the khaki buff tunics and that the straps. It's just really, really good. I'm just massively jealous.
I'll just put the paintbrush down. I'm not going to do it anymore.
Chris did mention before in the Facebook group that the basin under that grass is one that I use. So yes, I don't just inspire people to do turnip these days. It's also a bit of basin as well. Speaking of turnip, Jonas has been making a toadie.
Oh God!
There's nothing wrong with that whatsoever.
That is very cool. But he looks supremely like I've got very Solomon Kane kind of vibes coming off of that thing.
Then he puts a plague mask on and it just goes a bit mad like. But no, it's a cracking model. Absolutely love that. I've been really impressed with Jonas's turnip stuff that he's been posting though. It's just he's got the colours spot on. He really has. He's got that vibe.
It is spectacular. It's a spectacular model. I'll give him that.
So Dom, are you interested in Turnip 28?
No.
Moving on. Okay, so from weird shit, we're going to the English Civil War. More from Joe. Look at these.
Oh, they're nice.
They are awesome, but do you know what I like most about that?
What?
The base.
The base.
Yeah. It's a big red bat base. This is another company, but yeah, it is very, very cool. That is cool. I do like that, but I do like those bases. I've just realised now that they are my go-to bases now.
Are those pikes plastic or metal?
They look metal.
Oh,
they look metal.
They hurt.
It's like when you like put your hand, if you've got a cheese grater in the washing up bowl and it's going, you put your hand in to like get it. That's how I feel looking at those.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to hurt, but you still do it. It's like these Landschnecks I'm doing at the moment. They've got metal ones, and I know it's a bad idea, and I know it's going to hurt, but I'm still doing it.
I always look forward to Joe's ECW stuff because he's just got such a distinctive, crisp painting style. Just easily recognisable, and something that I can't do. Up next, so we're going from the English Civil War to World War II.
Okay.
Holden with some Victory at Sea cruisers.
Cool.
The boat game.
He's done a really nice job with the waves on that.
Yes.
Really nice.
Very, very nice. I still haven't played the boat game yet. I've still got I think I've got two of the smaller ships to paint up. All the big ones are done. But I am interested in playing the boat game. Not so much the windy boat game, but the boat game.
Before Ken fell down a hole, we were going to have a game of that again because we really enjoyed it. It was good fun. Really good fun.
Didn't he kick your ass?
No, of course he didn't. Actually, maybe he did. No, we played one of the historical scenarios, which actually we worked out. It was the Bismarck one, the Denmark Straits. And we realised the Germans have absolutely no chance if the Brits do it properly. And they didn't. So, yeah, he did kick my ass. But I called foul. The scenario wasn't balanced. We should have had a points game. It would have been easier.
Sticking with a nautical theme. I mentioned these earlier. Look at them. Oh, just look at them.
Oh, wow.
They're from Ken, Yorkshire Gamer.
God. Lovely.
Holy hell.
Lovely.
I mean, I look at them and I think that they look amazing, and then part of me looks and just goes, nope.
No, I was exactly the same. Not happening.
Nope. No, between these and then and the ones that that one from Martin last
Oh
week.
God, yeah.
It's just yeah, they look awesome, but nope, never gonna happen.
No.
Oh,
No, definitely not.
There's any boat games?
Boat game at Krakon. Yeah, could bring on Victor at Seas, I suppose.
Yeah, that's an idea.
Mm.
I like the way we're thinking of more and more games. We are definitely gamers. You know, you can't go through 2 hours on here without thinking of more games to bring to Krakon. The interesting one now from Kevin, Casualty Marker.
Nice.
Yes, that is very cool. I do like to see that. That sounds a bit awful. I like to see casualties. No, I like to see. I love seeing casualties when they're. I like to see casualties when they're not mine. So I heard that snort of derision. Who was that? Which one of you two was that? I absolutely
might have been me.
That was cutting. That was absolutely cutting.
I was just going to say how much I like the flowers on that base, but you've got to dig yourself into a hole.
I can't remember who it said. He put this up in the group, and I can't remember who commented. It might have been Alex, who just said there's something really not peaceful about. I can't remember what the word is, but poignant. You got the flowers. It's nice and clean because if I painted this base, there'd probably be bits of him in different directions. But no, he's done a cracking job. I love the fallen musket.
Yeah,
I
that's a nice touch.
You know, when people do, when I have casualty figures on command bases, I do try to find a weapon to throw nearby. But it's not always easy because you can't always get loose weapons without having to chop off a hand or something like that. You know, a broken spear. You know, I don't know how many of us have done it where you just snap a spear off halfway down to have it stick it out the ground and which spears never fall like that. You know, break off where you're holding it. You know, but all of us go. But no, I think that's brilliant.
No, cracking stuff there, Kevin. Up next is something a little bit different. It's a Death Shroud Terminator.
That is cool. I love the base.
Yes,
I love the
base. That's using that stuff that the Games Workshop sells at the Mars.
Yeah, it's what I use for my. I use it for my the Dead Man's Hand bases.
Yeah,
and then I cover them in slavers of pigments.
Do you know what I like about that is it isn't traditional Nurgle green. It's more of that, more of the traditional Death Guard looking color.
I never understood this, and maybe it's because I quite like Overlord for that, but their original color was like white or off-white. The Death Guard.
Death Guard,
it gets corrupted into and I always thought it would go kind of beigey, bony coloured, but then green. So I don't know if they. Anyway, yeah, that's just me being weird.
Just imagine my favourite 30k character, Nathaniel Garrow. Ah, what a guy! What a guy!
He's your favourite character as well, isn't he, Dom? I can see that.
Oh yeah,
Nathaniel Garrow, Typhon, of course.
Typhon.
Typhon.
He becomes Typhus, Herald of Nurgle, and
what he could do with a frying pan is just unbelievable.
You want to see what he could do with a scythe?
Harvest some turnips.
Yes. So up next, something from Matt.
Right, I feel really bad in doing this. Also, again, just shout out because the bass. So Matt's playing in the Wars of the Roses game, and I got a little bit mixed up on the event. So I said, "Oh, he's got Oxford stuff." So he's just gone and made Oxford. So I would be a complete dick now if I was like, "No, you're gonna be Exeter." But no, he's done such a cracking job on that. I don't think I could, in good faith.
No.
Now say you're not going to be Oxford. I mean, hopefully, that Star of Oxford won't get mistaken for the son of Edward like it did in real life, and they get shot to pieces. But that is a cracking miniature, and Pete's flags, I believe, on there. So which look lovely.
Lovely stuff. And now, this is Rob. Some British for
cool.
the man who would be king. That's what he's playing it for.
What manufacturer?
There's quite a few people doing that at the moment, aren't there?
I'm really not quite sure the manufacturer is. They're not Perry's, are they?
I don't know. They look wrong.
Maybe it's just because they're on. Is it just because they're on? I think they might be Perry's, or is it just because they're on the 40k base? They're on the not 40k bases, but they're on that Bethel base.
Like bases. No, it wasn't that I was thinking about. I was just looking at that dude in the middle with the moustache. He looks quite sort of almost caricature-y type, and it doesn't look quite in a nice way. I don't mean that in a bad way, but I don't know. It doesn't look like a Perry one to me, but I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know them, but they are nice.
I have to see if Rob's posted in the Facebook group what manufacturer they are. Yeah, very.
That was one of the rule sets that I picked up this last week. Was the Men Who Be King, because everyone's been going on about it. They do look fun.
Yeah, they do. They do look really good, actually. Very, very nice. Okay,
what was that? Go back. What's that on the base? Is that a dog?
It's a dog.
Yeah,
right. Oh, okay. Yeah. That's very cool.
It's a dog.
I think the dog has a name. I can't really recall what it was though. Up next is Samuel with this
it's a dog.
small goat.
I have some goats somewhere, but that's
nice.
That's just ace.
That's really nice.
I love the markings on the shield, the gun shield. I think that's awesome.
Yeah,
really good, really good.
I've never painted an 88 ever.
You never? Crikey.
No. Like I say, when I do these Flames of War Italian ones, it'll be my first painted 88. I know the Warlord one gives people nightmares, doesn't it? But apparently it's a bit of a bind to put together. Up next,
Leslie thinks they were Perry's Foundries.
All right.
Perry's. Okay. Interesting.
Up next, a bit of Clive of India by Sean.
Sean.
Yeah.
Sean.
I mean, just. What I love about it is how he's just throwing stuff. I'd actually like to know how long he's been working on it, or if just one weekend he's like, yeah, Clive of India. You know, he's looked through his ridiculous stash of stuff. Now, Sean's coming to Krakon, isn't he? Just to torment you again.
Probably. Yeah. It just comes to just annoy me, I think, which is fun.
Cracking work. And now a bit of Old Hammer with some Tony's Bretonians.
Oh, they're nice.
They are nice, the Bretonians. I do. Which is the army that got me back into Warhammer when I kind of got back into it, and then they never updated them again, which I think I say every week because he's posting those up again every week. But they are very cool.
They are very nice.
I do like those.
Do you know my brief foray into fantasy battle? My mate ran Bretonians. He just used to put his knights in a wedge and kill everything. It wasn't fun at all to play against.
Yeah, but I can tell you where that went wrong, because then they released the next edition whereby the unit that it didn't in the games. It used to be the charging unit would have the initiative in the first round of combat, so they'd strike first, right? And then they changed it, so it was just a higher initiative model. So the Bretonians were like, initiative about 3. So if you charged an elf, they just killed you. Like an elf archer would just kill you before you even had a chance to strike. And as my opponent had high elves, it just never happened. So basically.
And last one for tonight is this dwarf cannon from Stephen.
That's great.
That's awesome. I love those dwarf models. They look very dwarfy. I mean, like traditional dwarfy.
Proper dwarfs.
Yes. But very nice. That cannon looks evil, doesn't it? It looks very very, very robust cannon.
Yeah.
Very cannony.
Very cannon.
Very cannony. It looks like. How do you say it? It looks like a cannon. Looks like a cannon. Smells like a cannon. Must be a cannon.
Must be a cannon.
But, as always, another cracking bunch of photographs from everyone on the Facebook. Again, massive thanks to everyone that keeps posting stuff. I've mentioned it before. I look forward to it every day to see what people have posted. It's just so inspirational. It's dangerous as well, because you want to. I just want to start new games and paint new figures and get into new systems. So it's equally it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
But there we are. We're into overtime. It's nearly 10:05.
Are we really?
Great. I need to repair the fence after the trees.
Yeah.
Well, that's my. Well, I finished my casualties for Saturday's game. So Millie, you're
going to need a few more casualties, mate.
I know. I need to just. I I don't know. I was just going to get a load of blue tack and stick a bunch of like heads and arms into it and slap that down on the table. You know, but just talking back again, if we've talked about games and you come into Krakon and you want to confirm thing, just let us know down below. I think I've seen people talking about mornings and afternoons, but we can sort that out. So just comment on the feed and Facebook, email us or message us if you haven't got Facebook, and we'll sort it all out.
Perfect.
Brilliant. Well, again, thanks to everyone who's watching on the catch up. We really do appreciate you. We appreciate it. I'm just being efficient tonight. Now, thanks everyone for showing up. We're at a sync. Who's next week? Is it Ken?
Well, Ken said that as long as everything's sorted, he will take next week. If it isn't Ken, then it would be Dom. So it'll be Ken unless we hear anything, and then I'm after that. So it's always Dom, me, Ken, you. That's the order it goes in.
So keep a lookout on the Facebook group or notifications in your YouTube channel to see whose channel will be on next week.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like I say, massive thank you to everyone for coming out tonight and having a bit of a. It was a good subject, actually. It's got me thinking.
Yeah, it was good fun.
It really has been.
Yeah, considering we thought of it with you guys thought of it with about an hour to go.
It was thrown together rather quickly. But again, massive thanks to everyone that came out, and we'll see you all next week. Take care. Have a good week.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Cheers. Bye-bye.